In this lesson, we're going to be multiplying and dividing monomials using those exponent rules that we practiced. So first of all, let's go over what a monomial is. A monomial is a single term. And a term can be a variable, so it could be x. A term can be a number like 5, or it could be a combination of numbers and variables, so it could be 5x. Those are all examples of terms. And then we're going to be using words like product and quotient. Just remember that product is the answer of multiplication problem, and quotient means it's the answer of a division problem. So we learned that when we are multiplying monomials like this, we're going to add the exponents. And that is when we are multiplying with the same base. That's always the key. So like in number 1, the base is 5 times another base of 5. So as long as those bases match and we're multiplying, the shortcut we found was to add those exponents. So 3 plus 4 is 7. So it's be 5 to the 7th power. Even if you forget this shortcut rule, you can still solve the problem. You can just write it out the long way. So think about, what does each of these mean? So what does 5 to the 3rd mean? Well, that would mean 5 times itself 3 times. And there's the multiplication sign in the middle. And what does 5 to the 4th mean? It means 5 times itself 4 times. And then I can look at this problem written all out, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 5 being multiplied by itself 7 times. So we can still get to the answer without using that exponent rule. It just helps us get there faster. On number 2, I've got 2 different bases. So the base of 8 I can put together, and 8 to the 3rd times 8 to the 2nd is 8 to the 5th. Again, where a shortcut is we're just adding those exponents. Or we can think about what that would look like written out. And then these have the same base, x's, so those I can put together, and that becomes 6 plus 4 is x to the 10th. So again, the shortcut is just to add those exponents together, or we could write it all out like we did in number 1, write it all out, and then write it as an exponent. Number 3, we got 3 to the 4th, and then another 3. We need to remember that every number has an exponent. So if it's not written, it's a hidden 1. So then when we add those exponents, we're really doing 4 plus 1, which would be 3 to the 5th. Or again, if we were to write that out, there's 3 to the 4th. Looks like this. Then we have times that one more 3, and we can see that it's 3 to the 5th power. And then let's add another note over here. When we are dividing with the same base, again, that's the key, has to have the same base. The shortcut we found was to subtract the exponents. And just like on number 3, this 6 doesn't look like it has an exponent, so it's really that hidden 1. And then here we said we're going to subtract the exponents. Let's go ahead and do this one the long way so we could see how that would work. So in the numerator here, I have 6 being multiplied by itself 5 times. And then in the denominator, I just have a single 6. Well, we can use our reducing fractions, and 6 goes into 6 once, and 6 goes into 6 once, so that reduces that fraction. Or we can just say that that cancels out, but that's because they're turning into 1s. And then I can look at, what do I have left? I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 6s, so that's 6 to the 4th. And we can check our shortcut. We subtract those exponents. 5 minus 1 is 4. So we can use a shortcut here. 8 minus 6 is 4 to the 2nd. Notice we're not changing the base. So the base was 6, the base stayed 6. The base is 4, the base stayed 4. So we are dividing these numbers. We really are dividing them. We could see that when we wrote it out over here on number 4. We are dividing them, but the shortcut, it just looks like we're subtracting the exponents, but we really are dividing these values. So in number 6, we can again subtract those exponents, and 3 minus 5, be careful with this one. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Now technically this is not simplified yet. We are going to look at that in a couple more lessons, and we're going to learn about what these negative exponents mean, and then we'll learn how to completely simplify this. But for right now, we're just going to practice this rule and say that would be x to the negative 2. Okay, now we've got when we're combining. So it's similar to what we had above when we have two different bases. The base of 4s I can do together. And again, that 4 has a hidden 1 there. So 7 minus 1, that becomes 4 to the 6th. The base stays the same, 4 stays 4, but I'm subtracting those exponents. 7 minus 1 is 6. On the second part here, we have a y, because they both have base of y. And then I can do 5 minus 2 is 3. Number 9, I have both rules happening. So if we think back to how we used to solve order of operations, when I would have a problem like this, order of operations would normally say we would divide before we would add, except this is the exception to that rule. When we have these big fraction problems, we would treat this like one problem, and we would treat this like another problem, and get each of those answers first, so 10 over 5, and then last we would put the whole fraction together and do the division, which would be 5. So that we're going to kind of think of that same rule here, and that's just one way to solve. You don't have to do it this way. This is just one possible way. So I'm going to do this top first. So I'm going to look at just this problem here, and we're multiplying a times a, so the shortcut is to add those exponents. So 3 plus 7 is a to the 10th. So I haven't changed that denominator yet. That just stays a to the 6th. And now that I just have a single value on top and a single value on the bottom, I'm going ahead and do that division. And remember what that division looks like. When I'm dividing with the same base, it looks like subtracting the exponent. So 10 minus 6 is 4. Or I could have written them all out. Similar to how we did up here in number 4, write them all out and start canceling, reducing, and I would have ended up with a to the 4th. Number 10, again, we can kind of think back to order of operations, would tell us to do parentheses first. However, there's nothing inside this set of parentheses or this parentheses that I can actually do. So really, we don't need those parentheses. So we have negative 4. It's next to x. That means it's being multiplied by x. And when these parentheses are next to each other, that also means it's being multiplied. And then 5 is next to x, that's being multiplied by x. So just kind of writing all this out so we can see what this means. And then multiplication is commutative. So I can move this around and multiply these numbers in whatever order I want. So I can choose to move these numbers together and move the variables together. It's still the same expression here. I'm just putting things together with like the like bases, x and x, and it's a regular number times a regular number. Not only does a negative 4 and 5 not have an exponent other than 1, but they're not the same base. So we're not going to use exponent rules. So we just treat them like regular values. And negative 4 times 5 is negative 20. So these exponent rules don't change how we work with just those regular values, these regular integers. Negative 4 times 5 is still just negative 20. But now over here I do have exponents, so I'm going to use those exponent rules, and we're multiplying with the same base, x and x, so we can add those exponents. So that becomes x to the 3 plus 6, so that's x to the 9. So the values that are powers with an exponent, use those exponent rules, but the values that are just regular integers, we're just going to multiply or divide depending on the case, like normal. So that's kind of what we're going to do down here on number 11. On number 11, though, similar to number 9, I'm going to treat that top and the bottom like separate problems before I do that division. There's nothing in the denominator down here that I can actually put together. They're all different bases, a 6, an m, and an n. So that is just going to stay just how it is. But in the numerator, I recognize that I have two like bases, m and m. And the second one has that hidden 1. So it's not going to affect the 12. Because on the bottom I've got that m in the middle, I'm going to put the m in the middle on the top. You don't have to. And I'm going to do my shortcut. So like bases, I can add their exponents. So 6 plus that 1 would be m to the 7. And that doesn't affect that n. So the n is going to stay n to the 8. So all I've done so far is put those like bases in the numerator together. And now I'm going to head and go do that division. And the 12 and the 6, they're not a power. They're not like bases, so I'm just going to treat them like regular integers. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. We treat those like regular integers. We're not going to subtract them because there's regular integers. The subtracting is the exponent rule, like we're going to do with the m. M has like bases, m and m, so when they're like bases and we're dividing, we subtract the exponents. 7 minus 3 is 4. Again, that's an exponent rule. That's why with the 12 and 6, we just regular divided, because it's not exponents. With the exponent rule, we can subtract the exponents. Same here, n and n, so I can subtract those exponents, use that exponent rule. 8 minus 2 is 6. And then we're going to look at how this might look like in a word problem. Tobias has 2 to the 8th marbles in his collection, and Tim has 2 to the 2nd times as many. So one way I like to think of word problems is to try to simplify it a little bit. 2 to the 8th is kind of hard for me to think of. So let's just say he has 8 marbles, for example. And let's say that Tim just has 2 times as many. That makes more sense in our minds. If Tobias has 8 and Tim has 2 times as many, then Tim would have 16. I think, well, how did I get 16? I took 8 times 2. Now that we know we have to multiply, now I can get rid of these fake numbers and put my real numbers back in. Those imaginary numbers are just kind of helped us decide what operation are we doing. So I decide I have to do 2 to the 8th times 2 to the 2nd to find out if he has 2 times as many. So how many did Tim have? Well, he had 2 to the 2nd times as many. Now we notice we're multiplying with the same base, so I can use my exponent rule shortcut and say 8 plus 2 will be 2 to the 10th. How many marbles did they have in all? Well, let's think back to those fake numbers again. One of them had 8, and one of them had 16. How would I find out in all? Would I have to add those together? So we can use that. Now I know I have to add. So Tobias had 2 to the 8th plus Tim, we found, now has 2 to the 10th. We haven't found any rules for addition. Our rules are only for multiplying and dividing. So we're just going to go ahead and leave this like this. If we needed to actually solve this problem, you would do 2 to the 8th, and you would do 2 to the 10th, and you would add those two values together.